G'day, Chief. Welcome to the Inner Chief Podcast, episode 255. Today, our Minisode topic is personal power and influence. What do you do in those moments where you lose your flow, where someone seems to be owning a situation? Maybe they're a powerful stakeholder or a boss you just can't seem to get comfortable in front of. Maybe it's a customer that's really demanding and you keep losing your control or your flow state or a sense of resourcefulness under pressure. That is our topic. It's available on iTunes and now YouTube. We'd love to connect with you in more depth. If you want to find out more about Chiefmaker, go to chiefmaker.com. If you want to find out about our unbelievable mini MBA, go to chiefmaker.com/mini MBA. That is for leaders who are aspirational, who want to be more, have more, and do more with their career, and who just want to love their job, have a sense of purpose, and just kick some goals from a mastery perspective. You join a whole group of fantastic chiefs from around Asia Pacific. It is just superb. Get involved, Chief, if you want to. chiefmaker.com/mini MBA. Now, today's episode is inspired by one of my clients who was getting into some situations with a powerful stakeholder at work where he'd go into these meetings, and as a result of the power dynamic, he'd lose flow, he'd lose resourcefulness, and he just wouldn't nail the meetings like he wanted to. Now, previously on this podcast, we've done an episode on confidence blockers and also one on confidence boosters. If you're lacking confidence overall, go to that, okay? This is a special episode, though, about how to regain and reset the power dynamic and influence with integrity. And there's a few things I want you to consider if you've never done this before. The very first thing is this. You need to ask yourself in this relationship or in this scenario where I'm really losing my flow, what percent ownership of that relationship and its outcomes do I have? Out of 100%, ask yourself, is it 10, 20, 30, 40, 50%? What percent ownership am I taking of the outcomes of this relationship? Any relationship or any engagement where we're getting low performance, very, very often, that number is too low. It needs to be 100%, Chief. It's the only way to get the outcome you're after, to fully own and embody the outcome you're after and to bring your full power to a relationship. Now, the next couple of little tricks I want to teach you. I want to remind you that it'll be done with integrity and purity. They're little tricks or social engagement tricks that allow you to flip the script a bit and take greater control and ownership in these key moments. The first is this. Years ago, when I was in a leadership role, I had a few troubles with a powerful individual just like this. And whenever I was in a meeting with them, I would lose my sense of confidence and flow. I'd end up stuttering a fair bit and just would give really poor answers, right? And then I was doing, when I was learning coaching in particular, I went through this process and I was replaying the meeting as though I was a fly on the wall. And my coach at the time said, Greg, when you look at yourself in that meeting, how old are you? And I was playing the meeting in my head like a bit of a video, a bit of a script, and I could see that I had age regressed. I think I would have been about maybe 30 at the time. And I looked about 25 in the video I was playing. I was acting as though I was younger than I was. I was less resourceful as a result. So my coach said, hey, just see what happens if you grow yourself back up in the video to full age. And I did. And all of a sudden, I was more comfortable in my own skin. I was more confident in the moment. As I looked at that video, it was almost as though the other person was above me on a higher level, like I was looking up, like I was shrunk. All right. That was because in my head, I had created this video, this image that I was less than them. So first and foremost is in your mind, make sure that the video of yourself when you're in this meeting is you are at full age. You are as old as you are now. So you have all the wisdom and experience of your entire life and career. That's step number one. Number two is own the quality of the interaction. If you go into a meeting with this individual, it might be a one-to-one, it could be in a group meeting, and you know when you go in that they're in a particular mood, they're going to be a particular way that you know is going to put you off your game, that is when you can decide right then and there that instead of them owning the quality and the timing of that relationship or that conversation, that you can back out. And you might say something like, hey, I can see you just a little bit on edge. How about I come back later when you've got yourself together and we can have this conversation then? That does two things. When it's done with respect, it shows them that you are seeing them and that their behavior is visible for everybody to see. Number two, it's sort of saying, I'm not going to do this conversation while you're in that state. You're changing the power dynamic. They were setting all the conditions for the conversation against you. And now, and I'm probably, by the way, doing it unconsciously. Now you're flipping the script. You're starting to control how this plays out. Okay? The third is when you're in these conversations, I want you to start getting really curious. So ask lots of questions that specify, that ask for greater context. What you'll find is often in these moments, they can be really dominated by things like silence and things that are unsaid. So, for example, if the leader says something like, I really need you to go and do this project and it needs to be done by this particular time, you can very respectfully ask them and say, hey, that's really, really cool. I'm happy to do this project. Can you fill me in on the background and the context as to why this project right now is so important and how it fits from a priority perspective in relation to my other projects? Right. So all you're asking for, those are very reasonable requests, by the way, but now you're pushing the request back to them, more into their court, to give more information, more reasoning as to why things are going on, and to also provide the priority and to justify it. This is this one's priority or this project's priority over another. That's being curious. It's being really trying to understand what is going on. Often the context is left out of a lot of these meetings. Things aren't explained as well as they should be. That is what you're after. All right. The fourth thing is, before you go into these meetings, is just get your mindset right. Chief, a lot of people go into these meetings and they are dominated in their mind by a sense of fear of all the things that could possibly go wrong. Chief, in this moment, ask yourself, what is actually the worst thing that could happen now? And drop it and leave it. Do not go into that room with any fear. Drop it, man. There is nothing there that could really, really be so horribly wrong. And if it is, then it's absolutely time to leave. Right? So, Chief, I hope that helps you reclaim some of your personal power and influence in meetings. Stop, pause, check yourself, do a bit of a review and replay a meeting. Find out how you might be able to, instead of regress, progress to your full age, to your full power in those meetings, right? Be curious, seek understanding to gain more information. Control the quality and the dynamic of those relationships. Don't let the other person always control when the meetings happen, how long they go for, and the mood of those meetings. That's up for you to try and add some real value and bring this relationship back to a level playing field. Not one where you're dominant over them. We're trying to create a level playing field where everybody is thriving. That is what a true chief does. And when you do it with that level of purity, it works just about every time. Okay, Chief, this, I hope, helps you start to shift these relationships. Remember, 1% at a time. We don't need to flip these people in one big meeting. 1%. Change the social interaction. And over time, those percentage points will compound. And before you know it, the most stressful person, most stressful relationship you have at work will now be one of the best. Okay, Chief, I hope that helps. All the show notes will be at chiefmaker.com/255. And I look forward to connecting you through our website. Just go to chiefmaker.com and chiefmaker.com/connect for all the different ways you can connect with us here at Chief Maker. All right, Chief, as always, remember to stay epic.